What is that offense that is right for someone to move out of a particular church?
Well, when it happens that you have sought forgiveness or you have sought remedy and the thing exists in such a way that it is affecting others in the church, your mental health, then it gets to a point where there should be a consideration. Not you are living because of the offense, but because of what the offense is producing.
One thing that has been common in our setting is that we always want to be spoon-fed in terms of he's my man of God. Anything he will do for me. But when the pastor is in trouble, then we decide to leave instead of praying for him because he needs prayers as well.
The Greek word for offense is scandalon. It means a trap. So when you are offended, you are trapped in a certain box. Because no matter who you are, there are certain things. If you have stayed in that church, there's a certain joy that you may never have.
With offense, I don't think it matters who is right or wrong. It is us coming back to the agreement that we were not on in the first stage.
When one person offends you, it is not the whole church that has offended you.
The pastor.
Amen. The man of God is a man before of the of God. If you leave, it's fine. It's not under one pastor that you have salvation. Yeah, maybe you are even better off. But make sure that you preserve, at least there was one day that something good happened to you in that church. Remember that and live on a positive note. For life goes round.
Thank you for joining us on this very episode on Beyond the Sermon podcast. And here the conversation goes deeper and we talk about real life issues concerning the church and out of the church. Today we are focusing on offense in the church. When you talk of offense, what comes into your mind? I know you watching us, you've been offended like 100 times. And most of you are offended and you go like, I'll serve God in my house. So today we are tackling offense, and right here with me is Reverend Emmanuel Emu. And then we have Jeff. I know all of us sitting here, we are offended in one way or the other. Even Reverend is more offended than us. But the Bible says that when a neighbor offends you, we should forgive 77 times 7. But I don't know you can count up to that number because multiplication goes a very long way. So I don't think someone will offend you and you buy a particular book and then you'll be counting and then be multiplying. So Reverend, when we talk about offense in the church, what does it mean?
Well, offense is simply that someone says something or does something that makes you unhappy, or hurt your feelings. You know, as human beings, one of the things that makes us human is feelings.
Yeah.
And so whenever something happens that goes contrary to how we wanted to feel, we get offended. And so offense can come by virtue of someone's words or someone's action or even inaction. So we are offended in many ways, inside the church, outside the church. I mean, offense is part of life. In fact, the Bible says in Matthew that it must be that offense should come. So, I mean, offenses are part of life, but what it brings out of us is what we should really be focusing on. And I'm sure we are going to do that in the course of this discussion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have someone offended you in church before?
Oh, countless of times. Countless of times, yeah. I've been offended in church before.
So how tell us your feeling. How did you feel? Because some people, they get offended and then they leave.
Yeah, I think one thing I've come to understand is no matter how you are offended, it's never an option to leave the church.
Yes, sure.
Maybe there will come a time where God will personally tell you that leave. But most of the times, it's a plan from the enemy.
Okay.
It's a process where, offense, get angry, don't go to church. Then there's this isolation. And one thing I've learned in my life is isolation is not good at all, at all. So it's in the church. But the bottom line is people who offend you, not God.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have to put in your head. That's what I put in my head every day. It's people who offend me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm also a person. I can offend somebody.
Sure.
But it's never God who offends.
So also do we have something like this church is toxic? Do you have something like that?
We have toxic people. We have toxic people everywhere. So it's not necessarily a particular church that is toxic, but even if you should leave a church because something has happened, like Jeff is saying, the new church you are going to will also be filled with human beings. It's just a matter of time that another person offends you there. But sometimes offensive issues can be allowed to fester so much that a particular church becomes so tense with a lot of animosity and issues. We can lead to having a perception that this place is toxic. But usually it's the people. It's the people.
Do we have a toxic man of God?
Oh yes, we have a toxic man of God. We have toxic members. We have toxic bishops. We have toxic archbishops. We have, toxicity has got to do with human beings. So once the person is a human being, no matter the position he occupies, if he or she allows himself, he can become very toxic. So you can have.
So what is that offense that is right for someone to move out of a particular church?
Well, when it happens that you have sought forgiveness or you have sought remedy, and the thing exists in such a way that it is affecting others in the church, your mental health and those kind of stuff, then it gets to a point where there should be a consideration. Not you are living because of the offense, but because of what the offense is producing in the church. Because you can be offended as a person, and by virtue of a position you occupy, there could be a following you have. And even you might be cool, but the people around you, they feel that because you are not happy, there's a certain way they have to behave in the church as a revenge mission for you. And you see, when it happens, like create divisions and toxic atmospheres in and around the place, and it can be really, really, really disturbing. So I believe that, in fact, it should be the last resort. I agree with Jeff. It shouldn't be like, oh, BB is intimate. Yeah, sorry, no. But you see that it can get to a point that it is best. It is for the peace of mind of everybody.
Okay, so for me, I was in one particular church.
Okay.
And I felt like I wasn't. All I do is to come to church, sit, listen, and then go home.
Okay.
And I feel like I have more to do in the house of God. So I went to him directly.
The secretary himself.
I went to him directly and I told him to train me in case when he is not available, I can be able to give the announcement instead of the head pastor. Because when he's not around, the announcement becomes messed up. So you train me. Even if it will take a year for me to be trained. He looked at me from top to down and asked me, "Now we jina hono, ebetuma iseketria." I wasn't angry because to me I felt like, okay, miswa. And because I feel burdened to do it. So when he said that, I laughed and I was like, oh, I can do it. You just write it and then I will read it and then tell the people what will happen the following week. He was like, okay, what? Another time, he wasn't taking any steps towards me. Another time, I went to remind him what I told you, how far. And he was like, we have to have a meeting with the church board and then tell the church board that someone wants to be a secretary. And I'm like, I don't want to be a secretary. I don't want to be part of the board meeting. I just want you to write it. The day you will not come, I will just go and read it. So the way he responded to me, he never trained me. He never attended to me. He never taught me. He never gave me the opportunity. So right from there, I moved.
Okay.
I wasn't angry because I felt like it's my father's house. I want to do something. So I moved to another church that allows me to do something in the house of God. I wasn't offended, but I felt
You were offended. You were offended. Now, the only place probably you fell short was that the approach should not have been him. It should have been the man of God. Because positions in the church are not self-made. And so probably his communication should have also been that, oh, okay, it's good. Let's talk to the man of God and see. Because sometimes there are positions that it was not even by election, it was strictly by appointment. And the pastor who did it is also doing it from as an experience. Okay. And so when you talk to him, he would have said, okay, wow, well, maybe I don't even want you to be the assistant secretary. Let's try this or something else. But that notwithstanding, there should have been a better approach on his side as well. I mean, there are people in the church who get jittery when people are coming near what they are doing with the mindset that obejimejuma. So maybe he felt like that, and that led to.
And I felt like the approach he gave me. First of all, he ridiculed me and made me feel like I am not capable.
Sure.
And I kept going.
Insisting,
Not to force him, but to remind him of what I have asked of him. But he never got back to me. Every day, I'll get back to you, I'll get back to you. So right now, I am in a different church. Anytime he sees me, he go like, hey, you don't visit us in the church again. I can't tell him the reason, that he is the reason I left. But I felt fulfilled wherever I am.
So what you are fulfilled wherever you are, but you are offended. And you should have told him actually, so that he won't replicate it with another person. Because right now you have left, maybe you're not going back. But if it's a trend, another person will also leave and another person will also leave. So the next time you meet him, it will help you clear the offense actually. That I left because of what you said. I was offended. I'm offended. You need to lay hands on me and pray for me. But that's how you handled it. And I think that next time you should handle it better so that others will be able to do this thing.
I also feel that you made a statement that I was not offended. I think sometimes you don't need to say that I'm offended for people to see you're offended. And I also think that when we come to a setting, you can be in a good place, but with the wrong people.
Okay.
Maybe it was his bad day. So sometimes when something happens to me, if maybe my mom or my dad doesn't speak well to me, I get offended. But I think about a lot of things that maybe it's not her day. Maybe something is happening. Because if you think about it, make assumptions, then there's this sort of resentment in you. So the next day I ask, oh, the way you said this, I don't like it. Oh, I'm like, you see that it was you that you were overthinking. And I get it that you moved to a different church and you are being fulfilled. But as Reverend said, maybe it's something he's not aware of. That's how he was brought up in the house. So that's how he's going to relate to people. So if you don't tell him one way or the other, another person will get offended, but that offense will even be greater.
Exactly.
Then it causes a whole lot. Then realize that one thing that we could have handled in a small way has become very big.
Now, to add something, the Greek word for offense is scandalon. It means a trap. So when you are offended, you are actually trapped. You are you are trapped in a certain box, because no matter who you are, there are certain things. If you had stayed in that church, there's a certain joy that you may never have. And for all you know, like Jeff is saying, the guy now Junipo in you that side. So no, he goes to church fully joyful, celebrating, but you are trapped. You assuming that he leads praise and worship. And and you are in that small trap of yours, and the praise Lord, everybody is excited, but you are trapped by offense. So that's something little about offense that we have to understand, that it traps us and reduces our joy and actually cuts off some of quality of our life. So
okay. Also, there is a scenario in church. Should I say a scenario, or when someone offends the pastor and leaves the church, we are taught not to be in connection with this person. Maybe this person offended the man of God and this person never apologized and then left the church, said a whole lot of things about the church, the man of, you know how people get offended and then they leave and then a whole lot of scandal happens. And this one, when this particular person leave the church, we are taught not to contact this person or be in speaking terms with this person. But here in the same church, just as the same member offends me, the pastor expects me to forgive, forget, and then reconcile with this person because we are one family. Why is it the pastor's own different and my own different?
It is not the pastor's own being different. For the one who has left him, the reason is not that the church or the pastor has not forgiven the person, but evil communication corrupt good manners, and for this kind of things, if you are not a pastor, you may not understand it, because there are people, there's a way they can spew things. You may still be in the church, but if you are around this person, they say one or two things, you may not say it, but there's a way you begin to see the pastor. And so the issue of not being in contact with them, as for me, I don't really bother about that. But I think the rationale behind it is that so that you don't also get corrupt, so that you don't also get contaminated. You may not leave, but being at a place and your heart is like, because when you hear certain things, you begin to look for that, maybe the person said, Yan pastor no umbadi. In a normal comment. You don't care. In your mind, bro, me, I don't care, I'm there. But I'm telling you, once you are in the church, when he's preaching, you begin to indirectly pick that and that begins to cut you away from a certain wholesome acceptance of the man of God. You see, so it's like that. Every pastor has some of these people. I actually met mine when I was coming. I actually met. I was driving and where the car, there's a junction, so my car parked there so that I can look left and right before I cross. And he was standing right there. He was looking at me like this. We didn't say anything. This is somebody that we have, in quote, saved multiple times, and the reason they left was because the things that they did for us to come in to save them, they were still trying to do it, and then we were harsh and said, Charlie, you better stop this foolishness. So, and he felt that, how again, and left and said so many things and all that. Yeah, but it's fine. So for me, that's what I think. It's not about, we should forgive them. If not, we are not practicing what we are preaching.
Exactly.
We should forgive them, not have any resentment for them from their heart. But it is also our duty to protect the sheep that God has given to us, who are with us. And that's some of the way to if you have to let them be afraid of the wolf. And the sheep must be afraid of the wolf before they are chewed. All right.
I also think that in a different context, if the pastor is insisting that this person now has left the church, don't communicate with him, don't do anything with him, don't associate yourself with him. First of all, you should realize that, yes, the pastor is your man of God, but he's also human.
Sure.
So he may be talking from an emotional standpoint of view. So if your pastor is doing that, it is also your duty to pray for your pastor, that his heart will be softened. I think one thing that has been common in our setting is that we always want to be spoon-fed in terms of, he's my man of God, anything he will do for me. But when the pastor is in trouble, then we decide to leave instead of praying for him, because he needs prayers as well. And with offense, I don't think it matters who is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It is us coming back to the agreement that we were not on in the first stage.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I think from your question.
That's true. This should also be an advice for people who find a reason to leave. You see, when you are in a church, you have ate from there, you have drank from there.
And also, it's always the people that have benefited.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It's because it's always the people that have benefited so much from
It's
the
amazing.
church.
It's amazing.
And they are leaving is at times you hear the issues and it doesn't even make sense.
Exactly. So you see, when you are living and you are a grateful person, fine, maybe the atmosphere is too toxic for you to stay, so you have left. But at least preserve the good times, because life is saying that it is going round. Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you are living, so you are messing it up. And as you are living, you are calling yourself a Christian, and you are dating the place for those who are there, for them to feel some way. What you are doing is that you are not enabling that church to be able to function as a church.
Yeah.
But you are still carrying yourself as a Christian wherever you are going, and thinking that
God is
you see. So if you leave, it's fine. It's not under one pastor that you have salvation. Yeah, maybe you are even better off. But make sure that you preserve, at least there was one day that something good happened to you in that church. Remember that and live on a positive note, for life goes round.
Yeah.
Although you know there was this particular pastor that was in the news.
Okay.
That a church member came to the church as a new convert. In her story, she says she is a Muslim, so it was her first time visiting the church. And all of her said they said they should contribute this, they should contribute that, and she felt like, why is it that in the house of God the money is plenty? So this particular person doesn't understand because it's your first time. And I feel like she's supposed to ask questions, because a first timer can invite another first timer. Just like, oh, I've come to your church. It's my first time. And the next time I'm coming, I am coming with my
Some
friend.
other people, yeah.
It's fine. But for someone to invite you, it means this particular person knows more about the church and what the church have done for him or her. So this person have invited you. So you as a newcomer, when you visit the church for your first time and then you check certain things that doesn't go contrary to what you know, I think you should ask questions. This shouldn't create a room for offense for you to leave and then be talking years back. You should be talking about the man of God.
You see, people are carrying caps of offense, and wherever they go, they are looking for an opportunity to release it. This matter is in two folds. Number one, from the church perspective, I mean, sometimes we have to be very strategic in how we handle things. I mean, if we are in a church, we see new people. It is not everything that we have been doing that we announce like that. Because if we are interested in the new people, we have to have understanding that they might get confused or get a wrong impression. So there's nothing wrong even if you do that, you provide an explanation. Yeah, you can say, oh, this is not how we do our things. So, but you yourself, you know that because of this one that came up. So today we are taking this contribution. Every normal human being should understand if they want to understand. So that is on the part of the church. Now, on the part of the first timer, I mean, you also have to know that it is not because you have come that the church that has been running for years will be run to favor only you. There's an ongoing thing they are doing. So even if you don't understand, you just have to assume that okay, they are used to it. But if I ask, they will explain to me. Therefore, you don't understand what I'm trying to say.
I totally agree. I think with on the part of the newcomer, one thing that has affected us as Africans is our culture in school. You see, we are not trained up to ask questions. So if you're in class, the person who asks the question is either seen as annoying or maybe is too new. So if you don't understand anything, if you don't understand anything, maybe sanumpo can hear. So so with that first timer, she feels that or he feels that social media is that platform to vent. But if you've not asked the question, as you said, you won't get answers. And I think it's also affecting us in a way in terms of offense. If I've offended you and I don't know my offense, and you don't also come and tell me, or I don't also ask you, why are you so cold to me? We just end up with assumptions. Them not say, then it just grows like that. And on the part of the church, given that context, which is given, see, some years back, I used to talk a lot about giving. My day, Obama 10,000. Then the people are poor. Then, but I realized that when it comes to giving, it's faith-based. It's more faith-based. So if you don't know, just pray about it. If your spirit is not right with it, then don't do it.
Sure.
That is what I've come to understand about giving. So if you are offended about how a church gives, yes, some might be outrageous, but that one, God, is it right? Talk to God. Yes.
Because there are certain giving that God will instruct you. There are certain giving that you do it based on your faith. There are certain seed you sow and you want one particular thing from God. So that one, it's normal. And then also someone will get offended because the pastor doesn't like or relate with me like how he relates with other people. Someone will get offended because of that little thing and go like, it's favoritism. But I believe that your relationship with your pastor would depend on how your pastor will relate to you. Because you can, for a whole month, you not even call your pastor to or text him, how are you doing? And you want him to see you in church and you can't be my friend, because it's the same thing goes with God. If you don't have a relationship with God, you don't expect God to be talking to you or you hearing the voice of God. And also for
Mommy, you are on point. It's one of the things that pastors are mostly accused of. I myself have been a victim. Favoritism or paying us something. But listen. The man of God is a man before of God. Being a man, he has a normal temperament, normal feeling that draws him to some attributes of some people. Okay? Number two, the man of God will have an inclination to people who are supporting the ministry in a certain way. Yes. And if he doesn't, he's not being wise. For people who are committed, they are coming Monday, Tuesday. Of course, you should let them know that you like them. But you cannot relax. Chapter number 2 is. And you are not playing any. It's not like we hate you or anything. But you see, you are not creating a vibe for us to vibe with you. And the man of God is somebody who is presiding over a lot of people. For him to be intentional about everybody's individual feeling like that. So people have to understand that. Let me draw closer. If I want a particular type of relationship, it is my duty to try and draw that closer. It is not his duty. It is his duty to relate to you as a pastor should relate to a sheep of the church. But if you want friendship, there's something that you must be willing to do. And again, it is not by virtue of the call. It is not every man of God that you can have a free flow relationship with. For us who are called as pastors, because of the call, we are more inclined to having fellowship with the flock on that level. Because you have to be that way. But there are some other offices like the prophets, and the others. You cannot have a free flow unless they permit it. And so we also have to understand it by the nature of the call and the nature of the assignment. We cannot all have potogum shegum relationship in the church like that.
So with what Reverend is saying, I do agree 100%. I also say that Jesus himself had 3 close people. That's James, John, and Peter. And even the Bible emphasized that. And John, he loved the most. So even with him, he had someone who he loved the most. But ask yourself, what of the other disciples? Did they say they wanted to leave? So I saw it as let's take this analogy. The body, our body. We have the head, the hands, the legs. So assuming the pastor is the head, the eyes, the mouth, and the ears are all on the head. They are closer to the head, right? But that doesn't mean that the leg is not important. Because if the leg says I won't walk, we won't reach our destination. If the hand says I won't pick, we won't get what we want. So the bottom line of being in the church is to understand your role and know your purpose. As the previous video said, know your purpose. And if you find that these type of things won't offend you as much,
you'll not even be bothered.
Yes, although sometimes our human nature will come inside. Yes, we are not disregarding that too. But when it comes, then you realize, no, I shouldn't be bothered about this. What if the devil wants to amputate the body of Christ? What if he wants to cut off the leg? Because you are the leg. What am I going to do? Then you come back to your senses. Then we move on. So me, I don't have a problem if there's someone who is so close to the man of God and I'm not. I'm just doing my work. You get my point? At the end of the day, God will reward me.
Exactly. Now, let me say this. You see, there are some people there. Church, before the grace ends, may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, before it ends, they are already out. They are going home. They have no minute to spare to socialize with anybody. I mean, in the church, when the pastor closes, he will talk to people who say, oh, hello. That's the time for me. Like, this is the time that I really want to associate with those who are far in that context. But as for those who are close there, they themselves, they will wait until I go before they go. But you are leaving before we even say amen. So it will not be that the pastor does not want to have a relationship with you, but you cannot be found. Adam, where are you? You are not around. How can we have the relationship? You see, and then those who have time to stay, you have a problem with them. I love the analogy of the disciples that Jeff made. You see, the 12, there were 3 that were being sent on special assignment. Special ones. So you have to look at that 9 and think about, hey, how would they feel? But no, among the 3, there was John the Beloved. Even the day Jesus was arrested, the Bible said his head was on the lap of Jesus. And when Peter was the assistant, let's say assistant to Jesus, so he asked him that, can you ask him who will betray him? Why is the assistant not going directly to his immediate boss, but passing it through the one he loved? The pastor is allowed to have closer people. It is not everybody that a pastor can even share intimate personal issues with that will be kept and preserved. And there will be some people who will be there because the pastor has a lot of human problems that he also needs people to talk to.
Yeah.
And if you don't present yourself in that capacity, you will not be called upon for that kind of relationship. Whatever level of relationship you want, develop it. The Bible says, "He who must have friends must himself be friendly."
There's a very interesting conversation, and I hope you are subscribing, you are sharing with your friends. Drop your comments, your contribution, your opinion right at the comment section. Have you been offended before? How did you feel? What happened? Did you leave or you forgave? You went for a while and then you came back. That's beyond the sermon podcast. Stay tuned. Also, how can I apologize, or when I offend my pastor? What are the steps that I should take?
Of course, you must seek forgiveness from the Almighty Himself and also seek His guidance before you make your approach. One of the prayer topics we are praying is that may God touch his heart and may you meet him in a good day. Now, the second thing is that do not also just approach. If you are one of those who have a very close relationship with him that you can go to directly, then you must know the time in his mood and those things. Find his best mood. Find his. You see, there are many pastors, even if they are offended about something and you approach them in the right mood, they will discard the issue. Yeah. So know their mood, know their best time to approach. If you are not sure, you can also go with somebody who has the respect of the man of God. Okay. Who has the respect of the man of God, and ask them to lead you to talk to the man of God. For many men of God that I know, and I believe that for majority, sometimes the offense we keep are intentional. It is not by animosity, but it's intentional. Sometimes you have to let somebody know that you are not happy for them to stop. Yeah. So sometimes it's intentional. It's not that it's not even your heart and how, but you have to live with the person in some way for them to know we were but losers now. He's moving his advice into action. So let me fine-tune myself. So I'm letting you know that when you don't communicate, the way you are feeling is the way I also feel. When you need to say something and you are not saying it, and you are thinking that we have to assume.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you a taste of your own medicine, so repent. So when we approach our men of God like that, for many, it's just an intentional action against you, and they will quickly brush it aside. Also, like I said, if you need to go with somebody who has the respect of the man of God, you can do that as well. But the best is to go to him or her and genuinely apologize. And the man of God will let it go. I mean, sometimes the way we apologize, Nankasa, is not genuine. And our approach is not too good. But if we go genuinely and we apologize, I'm sure that the man of God wants the people around. He wants the people around, and he wants the church to have a certain happy atmosphere. So he himself within will not be happy, but would want that step, and then we can all work on it together.
Yeah, and I also feel that sometimes the reason why we are reluctant to apologize is because we fear that there's going to be a sort of punishment for us. Maybe if we go and apologize, we are forgiving you, but imagine if you are a singer in the church, or you are not going to sing for 2 weeks. Then you're like, no, I don't go and apologize. So there's this pride in you. But I feel every offense should have its consequences.
Of course.
But the forgiveness should always be there. So if you go and apologize genuinely, and the man of God says that, okay, but this week, no singing for you, you have to accept that, yes, I've done something wrong, and this is what I am paying for. If you do something right, he rewards you. And that is another aspects why people, if they offend someone, they don't want to apologize because getting back together will be. But you always have to understand that yes, you have to face the consequences, consequences regardless.
Some people, offense comes with pride.
Yeah, of course.
Immediately someone offends, there's this pride that as all of a sudden when Minyansas in Sofono, all of a sudden when Minyansas in church board, all of a sudden they have the correct answer to everything. And then they don't even know they are offended, or they don't even know what they are doing is wrong. So this particular person will still be in the church and then start to pollute other people. Why they are. So they start talking out of the offense they have in their heart, out of the bitterness, they start polluting. They will not leave the church. So a person like this, when the pastor finds it out, does the person have the right to sack this person?
Unless they become a scorner. The Bible says we should cast out the scorner. And then contention will cease. Who is a scorner? A scorner is somebody who is unrepentantly doing something that is hurting the church. You see, if you are a pastor, you understand how difficult it is to gather people.
Now, church was
to win one soul. So me, I don't get offended easily. I thank God for the level of tolerance. But one thing I'm on chomo is when you are doing something that has the potential of letting some people leave the church, because you are wasting the effort that we are trying to do. And as pastors, we are giving account for the souls of those people that we are gathering. So we can't just allow you to, spoil it. So when you are doing something, we see it, we'll call you, we'll draw your attention, we'll teach you, we'll explain, we'll tell you the consequences. You keep on doing it. We show you our teeth by releasing some punishment as and when due. But if it becomes to the point that we can tell you to leave. Not because we are unforgiving, it's because you are spoiling the work of God. And it's the Bible that said, cast out the scorner. He said, cast out the Proverbs, cast out the scorner, and contention will cease. You see, God describes the church members as sheep. We are all sheep. But one thing about sheep is that they don't drink water from troubled waters. If a sheep is drinking from the water and the water shakes, they will run away right now. Psalm 23 will tell you, he lead us beside what? Still waters. So we cannot allow you to be in the river, be shaking it, and the other sheep cannot drink. You are a trouble to the church of God. And so casting you out is not a revenge against you as a person, but it's a protection for the work that we are doing. But that is an extreme case. I mean, nobody is in a hurry to sack anybody from the church. But if the thing keeps on happening, advices and all this not working, sometimes it can get to the point where you ask somebody to leave.
When it comes to offense, I think one part of the Bible we should really look at is the book of Matthew. And I was analyzing it and I realized that the nature of Matthew made him understand what offense is, because he was a tax collector. And being a tax collector is like you are against a certain people. You are collecting for the Romans against maybe the Jewish people. So he understood offense to like the
even
core.
Before he came to Christ.
So I think if you read Matthew chapter 18, verse 15 to 17, when it says, if someone offends you, what you are to do. First, go to him alone. If he doesn't respond, send 2 people. If he doesn't respond, tell the church. If he doesn't respond, other versions will say, treat him as a Gentile. The Message Bible will also say, let him start all over again. Treat him like as you are winning back a soul for Christ. And it should tell you that it means when someone offends you, it's more of you being humble and saying, regardless, I'm going to pray for the person. And that is the aspect to it where if we don't walk with God for a certain period of time, our emotions will always get the better of us. So if sometimes we are offended, then God is saying, go and pray for this person. God never.
See, it's the
God
most, it's the most difficult.
It's so difficult,
It's
but
the most difficult things to do.
but God also says that choose your difficult. Will you rather suffer praying for the person, or rather not talking to him if he maybe is someone who will connect you to your purpose? Which of the difficulties do you want to go through? Yeah.
We know pastors at times they offend.
Yes.
And then moreover too is like someone have done something and then right at the pulpit the pastor is talking about it. Obi wɔ hɔ a ɔmpɛ dɛm animika no bɛka biribi a at least call the person. So this one, to me, my pastor have offended me. What do I do?
So to be a pastor, there's something called ministerial ethics. And the ethics are standards of behavior. It's like the code of conduct of what must be done and what must not be done. A pastor can offend because sometimes you don't apply the correct ethics, because one of the ethics is that you praise your people in public and rebuke them in private.
Okay.
That is one of the ethics. When it's praise there, you say it for everybody to hear, and then when it's a rebuke, you do it individually. But now this is the case. Using your question for an example is that when something happens for a long time and others begin to learn and replicate it in the church, it becomes important that one case should be used to address the problem.
Yeah.
So that it serves what as a deterrence for others. Now, what might not be the case is about maybe specifically mentioning names and all that. Some pastors do not apply the ethics in that area, and so no, rougher or bobo using were more direct fire and then create offense. But once you are offended by your man of God, you feel that you are offended. The first thing you do again is to go. Yeah, is to go. And say, Papa, Mama. Mama, dear, you are so rough.
But I believe that will happen based on your relationship with him or her.
Of course, but once you are in the church, whether you like it or not, you have a certain kind of relationship with him. And so if it is not going well for you, you go. I like something that Jeff said. You see, some of the things that you get offended by, the offender has not got that intention at all. You see, so when you approach and say, oh, man of God, this thing, no, Father, I was not happy. You see that 80% of them will say, oh, really? Is that the case? I'm sorry. Or they will explain to you why they did that, and that explanation can satisfy you. Okay, and sometimes it opens the lid for proper discussions to be had.
This topic is a very broad topic, and offense is something that is going on right in the church. And we'll come back and then do another discussion on offense. But before we go, Jeff, your last words.
My last words are an apology, or is an apology to the people that have unknowingly offended, that are still offended by the offense I don't know. Please, I'm sorry. Please, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Yes. But I hope that in our walk with God, we draw more closer to Him in a way that He teaches us and makes our hearts very big, so that if someone even offends us, we can be able to tolerate it and use the right processes.
Okay. Also,
yes, I was saying that offense is part of life. I mean, it's only dead people who don't get offended. But once you are alive, something will offend you. And the thing about offense is that it's those who are closest to us that when they offend us, the pain is extreme. And let's understand that they are the ones who are also going to offend us. And let me just give this advice to those of us in church. When one person offends you, it is not the whole church that has offended
Not
you.
the pastor.
Hey, Mbonchao. when someone offends you, bring the issue on board so that that particular issue will be discussed and solved amicably.
Yeah.
Don't go and form a gang and create enemies for that particular person and yet call yourself a Christian. It's not right. Let's bring the issue on board. Let's settle it out. Don't leave the church because there are no saints in any church. So let us stay in peace and dwell in peace, understanding that offense is part of life. Thank you.
Osofo said we should stay in peace and dwell in peace. This is not the time for you to go on social media to go and talk about how you were offended in a particular church and then preventing other people from going to that particular church. Their breakthrough might be at that particular church, but because of social media, you just picked up your phone, someone have offended you in the church, and the church couldn't address it in the way that you feel like they should address it. Please kindly approach and then tell whoever that is your pastor or your deacon, your deaconess in the church, tell them how you have been offended. There's not a time for you to use social media to break down someone's church. Starting a church is very difficult. Winning souls is very difficult. So don't wait for the pastor to become big for you to bring issues of 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago to come and then destroy what this man of God have built. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing with your loved ones. Thank you for dropping your comments. Thank you for bringing your suggestions and then your questions. Thank you for following us on all social media. And I am your host, Senna. We'll meet again. Stay blessed.